How should influencers charge for what they do? How do you put a price on content creation and influence? Is it based on the number of followers that you have? Or is it based on the value that you bring through your content? Do you base it on the engagement that you can create or the quality of content that you create for the brands and the businesses that you work with? In this episode of Under the Influence, we speak to the Humanz Chief Marketing Officer Pierre Cassuto to find out what is the best way that content creators and marketers can meet in the middle and find a value that they can place on the content that is created for the campaigns that they work together on. This is Under the Influence, a podcast where we ask one simple question about influencer marketing and we want to hear from you. What do you think? Do you agree, disagree? What do you think we left out on? I'm your host, Kopano Shimange. I'm a momfluencer and a member of the team here at Humanz. So get ready to pitch in. Down in the comment section, let us know what you think because you are part of the show too. Let's get into it. What's up, Pierre?
Hello, Kopano. Are we live?
We are live.
Oh, no.
With a question that we get a whole lot of times, and it's like,
Is it, why are you guys always picking the same people for campaigns?
well, I don't want you to get cancelled, so I won't ask you that one.
Okay.
But
I think it's, we take a lot of flack for this. I mean, we paid out over 11,000 influencers over the last 12 months. Over 100 million rand to 11,000 influencers. So that's, a lot of people in South Africa. They got a little bit of money and probably not always the same people.
How many millions?
But it is true. It is true that, unfortunately, and it's not just true in South Africa, it's true all over the world.
Yeah.
Top influencers, top creators are the one who get the lion's share of it.
True. Isn't it like the 80-20 rule also still persists anyway?
It's like the 595 rule. Like,
wow.
The top 1%, as people
Wow.
call them. The same applies to many things. Professional athletes, the same. Influencers are like professional athletes. I think that's how people should think of them.
We'll have to get into a whole episode for that one. We might need 30 minutes and a whole panel discussion on that whole situation about the same influencers and them getting a higher rate, etc. But today I want to ask you about the other number one question, which is, how should influencers charge? This is a big question amongst both creators as well as marketers. How should they charge? How should they pay? How does that work?
All right. So I don't want you to hit me with the bullshit alert button. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the answer, the academic answer, and I'm going to give you the kind of cheaty but real practical answer. So the academic answer is it depends. It depends on what you're being asked to do. If you're being asked to jump out of a helicopter and swim with sharks and dodge lasers and do all these kind of high production things, you're not going to charge the same as just a video where you're speaking to camera at your phone, right?
Because I don't want to be eaten by sharks. You're going to pay me for a shark. Like I heard
a lot of sharks in influencer marketing.
True. Okay, cool. So if it's dangerous, I charge more, for example.
So if you're being asked to produce expensive content and you're being given a brief, then you're going to charge, a production fee or fee based on your production costs. For me, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's important to understand the value you provide. Are you being asked for specific content? Are you being asked to convince people to try a product? In which case you might not need to do very expensive production. Or are you being asked to drive sales? Like there's a lot of different things that you can be asked for in influencer marketing. So that's the it depends is what you really need to consider if you want to maximize your earnings, and you need to understand who is buying from you and what is their budget based on and what are the results they're looking for.
This is this is not an answer. It's not an answer. It's a whole of it depends, and no one knows what to do with it depends.
Okay, you're putting me on the spot, but I'll give you the kind of magic metric of influencer marketing.
Okay.
The one magic metric of influencer marketing is cost per engagement. It's the metric that's most used globally. Why engagement? Well, if you buy media, you want to get your media out there and have a chance for a lot of people to see it.
Okay.
But the reason you use influencers is you want people to pay attention. You don't just want to put your message out there. You want people to be paying attention to your message.
Yeah.
So how we measure that is engagement. Engagement tells us, are people paying attention to what is being posted? So cost per engagement is a metric every single creator should know. Know what engagement you normally get on your content, and know what the market benchmark is or what your advertiser's benchmark is. And you can then justify your rate out of engagement.
Where am I supposed to find that information? Like whose benchmark is correct? Like where am I finding this benchmark?
So first of all, know yours. You can calculate your cost per engagement by looking at how many engagements you get in your rate card. And divide your rate card, your price per post, divided by your number, divide your rate by your number of engagement. That will give you a cost per engagement.
Humanz is a platform that empowers both brands and content creators as well. If you're a content creator and you want to know how you can bid on the next campaign, make sure that you download the Humanz app. The details that you need to download are in the description. Now, if you're a marketer and you want to start working with the Humanz team or know more about the Humanz platform, then make sure that you click on the link in our description. There's a form that you can fill in with all the details that we need so we can get in touch with you and set up a call. Now, let's get back into the episode. Okay, so I'm a content creator. Usually I get 1,000 likes. Okay. And for a timeline post, still, I usually get 1,000 likes. And I charge 10,000 for a post on my timeline.
Yes.
That means my cost of engagement is
10 Rand.
Okay, cool.
Right?
Okay.
Cool. So it's 10,000 divided by 1,000. It gives you the cost per single engagement you get.
Okay.
So the benchmark in South Africa for 2023 was 9 Rand 67. Still lower than what you get in the US or other markets.
That's not bad. You know, I thought I'm sweating. I started to sweat just a little. I started sweating just a bit. Okay.
However, what I wanted to mention is that it's kept going up. So 4 years ago, the cost per engagement benchmark in South Africa was around 2 Rand.
Wow.
2022, it was 5 Rand something, around 550. And last year, it almost doubled. So
why?
Well, I think it's a matter of supply and demand. There are many more brands that are investing in influencer marketing, which means that influencers can charge, the influencers that get a lot of briefs and a lot of options can then charge higher for that content and those pieces. I also think there's a lot of brands that don't know the benchmark, so they're happy to pay whatever is in front of them. But that's why it's important for marketers and influencers to know what the benchmarks are around fair pricing.
Yeah.
Again, if you get asked to do something crazy that costs a lot of money for production, there needs to be additional to that.
Yes.
But for your traditional
content... Am I trying
content,
to charge on benchmark or below benchmark?
That's really up to every single creator and depends on what you're doing. If you're a beauty creator and you're doing beauty content, then probably you should charge on benchmark or even you can charge a premium. But if you're doing some content that's not within your niche, then probably you should charge a lower rate. That's not advice I'm giving here.
Look, I agree with that because when you think about it practically, if you have an audience of 100 people and they're all there for different reasons because you are a lifestyle content creator, only a small percentage of them are going to respond to something for beauty. Yeah. But if you are a beauty content creator and you have 100 people, a bigger majority are going to respond to the beauty content because they're there for beauty. So if you serve them beauty content, then more of them are going to respond.
And your engagement is likely to be more relevant as a result.
Yeah.
So 2 more things I want to add just based on what you said. The first thing is, so cost per engagement is important, but what you should be able to showcase is that your engagement is relevant. So are you getting just fires and heart signs, or are you getting people asking you questions about what you're talking about in your DMs? Are you responding to people's comments and their questions? Is your engagement around a community and around questions and advice and like we spoke about last time?
As a content creator, my thoughts are brands are paying to be on TV and you can't guarantee how many people are going to see it, but they just put it on TV because they have some average of how many people are going to see the advert. So why for me as a content creator, can't I charge on how many people see it? Because you just want the content to be seen. Why must I be judged on engagement?
Because you're not competitive on impressions and reach. Like TV, radio, billboards, even digital ad buys. If you buy ads on Facebook, your cost per impression is way lower than what you're going to get for influencer marketing. The secret sauce of influencer marketing is that the people that see the content are way more likely to notice it and then are way more likely to convert and buy afterwards. True. So you can't go up and say, I've got cheaper opportunities to see. They're more expensive, but you can say every time somebody sees my content, it's more valuable to you as a brand. That's where you got to work down the funnel. Now, the second thing I want to say, you spoke about lifestyle content creators.
Yes.
Lifestyle content creators. What the hell does that mean? That's what I get from people all the time. I was at the Fluence Festival just last week. It was a really cool experience, but a lot of people came to me afterwards and asked me, how can I make it as an influencer? And I said, well, what are you talking about? What is your content about? And said, well, I'm a lifestyle creator. And my response to them, I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, was, are you a celebrity? Then I'm sorry, but your friends and your family care about your life. But I don't have time to care about other people's life, just like people do.
Yeah.
So what is your content? What makes it distinct? What makes it unique? Very often when we hear the word lifestyle content creator, unless you're a celebrity or you're literally somebody that buys yachts and fancy clothes and whatever, like unless you're really, and that's in its own right, like how are your content is differentiated, then most likely it means you haven't found your niche and you're undifferentiated. So when a marketer looks at you versus 10,000 other people that look just like you,
you're not
why
stand
would
out.
they pick you? Exactly. So niche, have content, be known as the girl that does this, the guy that does this. Oh, the person that answers people's questions and say, get that girl her money, or the person that does the best get ready with me content in South Africa, or be known for specific content. Think of yourself like a publisher or like a TV show, somebody who runs a TV show.
So I usually say to content creators when they in that lifestyle element, or they say I'm a lifestyle content creator, it's like, what's your tilt? Like if everybody's in a straight line and you tilt it back, to one side, you stand out for something. And it's a big fear for a lot of content creators that, oh my gosh, but then other people are going to come for me for this and I'm going to lose out on a whole lot of stuff. But it makes sense, especially when you talk about pricing and also being able to select you as a creator. So then on the other side, so a content creator looks at this and says, okay, 9 rand per engagement and I'm getting 1,000, so 9,000 rand. On the other side with the marketer, what are they looking at in terms of, is that a fair fee or is not a fair fee to pay a content creator?
Oh, I'm going to go back to getting your bad books. It depends. Well, as a marketer, I really don't care about engagement at the end of the day. It's just one indicator all the way along my funnel about how many people paid attention to my content, and I want to see what did that attention convert to. So as a marketer, what I'm going to want to understand is from that content, if I use it as ads, what was my click-through rate? Was it higher or lower than my normal click-through rate? And then when they land on my website, what was my conversion rate? The conversion rate from influencers should be 5x higher than from your other digital media channels. That's how you know whether that influencer is effective in converting audiences once they buy your product.
Yeah.
If not, it means that people paid attention, but maybe it was attention that drove into purchase intent and sale.
Yeah.
So look at your funnel, understand the time of the months that you're in terms of, payday and all these things, and see how you can track all along the funnel how that specific piece of influencer content drove people to purchase. Then you know if it should be repeated or not.
Yeah.
But when you're doing pricing initially, if it looks like it's the right type of content, the right type of audience, you see kind of brand affinity, brand fit, and the pricing is right, then, you can experiment from there.
So are marketers actually using benchmarks on their end to say that we're looking for a content creator who can give us X?
Too few, I think. But if you're trying to understand, if you get a rate and you want to know whether the rate is appropriate or not, just do napkin math, look at the cost per engagement, and you'll know whether it fits within.
Napkin math. Well, so you're taking out a napkin, you're just writing quickly. That's
or
what
an
you're
Excel
trying to say.
spreadsheet. Or use the Humanz platform.
Excel
Or use the Humanz platform. It does it for you. But
very true.
But that is the easiest way to know whether that person's rates are at least market sensitive or not. But beyond that, obviously look at whether their content is relevant, the audience is relevant, and look at all the qualitative metrics, not just the quantitative.
Oh, we spoke a lot of numbers here. I think there's some people who've got headaches. So in terms of Humanz, I know that on the platform, there is information about benchmarks and how to see if a content creator is fairly charged or if you're underpaying or overcharging with them. But for everyone else who is listening, where can they find this information? Like, where's the place that I'm going to find this 9 rand that you're speaking about?
So you can go on our website. We've got a book, a handbook that influencers and marketers can download that talks about influencer marketing strategy, talks about trends for 2024, it talks about benchmarks as well. So I guess the action for today is go to our website, look for these things, download them, and be better equipped to negotiate and justify your rates.
Cool. Thanks, Pete.
It's a pleasure. See you next time.